Shalom. Before I begin, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Achakwadash. And I want to the apostles, elders, great millstone, and Shalom to the IGM teaching his word. Throughout the four corners, in true sincerity. Back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. We're going to be edifying unto the elect. All right, the true chosen people, the true 12 tribes of Israel consist of the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. We are the true Jews. We are the true chosen people. We are the Israelites that the scriptures speak of. All right, not those imposters in the land that proclaim themselves to be Jews, but are not. All right, and the true name of God is Yahweh. All right, the names I said in the beginning, the name of God is not just God, yes, He is a God. And his name is Yahweh, which means he is or he exists. Bahashem, meaning in the name, and Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus, is not Jesus, is Yahweh Shai, which means he saves or he delivers, because he's going to be the one to deliver us from our captivity, and he's the one that's going to deliver us from these chains of darkness. All right, the topic of this lesson, is really centered around Colossians 3, but we're really focusing on the 5th verse. All right, because the whole chapter is beautiful in itself, but I've just been meditating about, all right, this verse going down, all right, because, it talks about, basically becoming a new man, being changed, all right, your old habits, your old ways, all right, have to die, once you come into, this wisdom and knowledge, all right, so that the Lord can be pleased with you and that you can become the man that the Lord wants you to be, all right, being conformed, being reformed to the image of Yahweh Shai, because that's ultimately what we want to be. We want to be like Yahweh Shai. Who are the men that, all right, that are going to be like Yahweh Shai? Ultimately, the elect of Yahweh Shai. All right, so there's certain things that once we come into the truth, things that we, thought was cool in the world, were really very wicked and not, fruitful, for, the body, for, the brothers in this truth. All right. Okay, because again, as I said, once you come to this truth, we are supposed to, change. There's supposed to be a difference within you. We all have heard it when we came into this truth. All right, you've changed. All right, but it doesn't just stop there. All right, because these are certain habits, that we had in the world. Again, it's a habit. Okay, things that it's hard to shake off a habit once your body get used to doing certain things and you change. All right, it's it's hard, but through prayer and fasting, like Yahweh Shai said, certain spirits and demons can come off of you. All right, let me start with that. All right, because it may be a spirit. Matthew 17 and I'm gonna start. I really gotta start up. Matthew 17, starting at start at 14. It says, and when they were come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man kneeling down to him and saying, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic and sore vexed. For oftentimes he falleth into the fire and off in the water. And I brought him to thy disciples, but they cannot cure him. Then Yahushua answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him thither to me. And Yahushua rebuked the devil and departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour. All right. Then came the disciples to Yahushua apart and said, why could not we cast him out? So the disciples couldn't cast out the spirit that was on that young boy. All right, but Yahushua could. All right, so prayer, fasting, and Yahushua. All right, that's what we need, for certain spirits. Okay, to be cast out. It said, and Yahushua said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, you shall say unto the mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit, this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. All right, so certain things we have to pray and have faith in Yahweh Shema Shai and fast, so that it can come off of us. All right, but going back to Colossians 3:5, it says, "Mortify therefore your members which are upon earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry." So, let's break this, down. All right, I'm reading NLT too. It says, "So put to death the sinful earthly things lurking within you. Have nothing to do with sexual immorality, right? Impurity, lust, and evil desires. Don't be greedy, for a greedy person is an idolater, worshiping the things of this world." Right? So, when you go into that word mortify, I already said it in the NLT, which is to ultimately to make dead, to put to death, slay, all right, worn out, all right, to deprive of power, destroying death. So certain things, you gotta put it to rest, put it to death. All right, you have to, deprive it. Okay, using the alcohol for an example, you have to basically starve it out. Okay, starve out your old habits. All right, you have to put. I accidentally hit the power button. But yeah, these certain habits have to get put to death, because once you form a habit, it takes time for you to get out of the habit. All right, so the man that you was 1 year ago is completely different than the man that you are now. All right, and so I thought we were able to have the time to improve and be ready. All right, become better. All right, because who knows what would have happened if you just finding out about the truth. All right, and you still acting as that old man. All right, you don't want that. For the Lord to come back and you not truly, ready. Or if you probably lucky make it. But using this example, if you're not ready, you haven't fully, been changed. It says, "For which things sake the wrath of the Most High coming on the children of disobedience, in the which ye also walked some time when ye lived in them." Right, so things that we used to do, when we was, in the world. All right, you're not wicked. I mean, you are wicked. I don't know. You were wicked. All right, I'm not gonna say you wasn't wicked, but we was wicked. We still go off now. All right, but these are things that we used to do. All right, but it says, "But now you also put off all these things: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. Lie not one to another, seeing that you have put off the old man with his deeds." So certain things that we used to do, if you get angry quick, if you was, acting maliciously, all right, slandering, filthy communication, lying, all right, especially those that was close to you, you can't bring those attributes into this truth, because that's not the man that the Lord wants you to be. Yahushua wasn't like that. All right. It says, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him. All right, and so again, Lord is renewing us to learn. It says in NLT, right? Put on your new nature, right? Your new nature, and be renewed as you learn to know your Creator and become like Him. So when you come to the truth, as you grow, as I was saying, that man 1 year ago is not the man now. All right, because you didn't know as much, you didn't go through, certain experiences. All right, because experience, is the greatest teacher. So as you grow, you learn more, you gain more wisdom. You got rebuked here and there of however you was acting. Now you're learning. You're learning the Lord. All right, you're learning Yahweh Shema Shai, and also trying to be like, Yahweh Shai. Putting on as the elect. Like it says in the 12th verse, it says, "Wherefore, where there is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcision nor uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, if I said that right, bond nor free, but Mashiach is all and in all." So it doesn't matter. All right, like it says, in this new life, it doesn't matter if you are a Jew or a Gentile, circumcised or uncircumcised, barbaric, uncivilized, slave or free. Mashiach is all that matters, and He lives in all of us, right? And this is, a beautiful precept, especially in the times now, where Jake has been scattered. Jake ain't really, their parents didn't really follow the law, statutes, commandments. And now they're in different nations, calling themselves after that nation, like America. Right, but as long as we come to the Lord in a sincere and contrite spirit and wanting to change and believing in Yahweh Shai, right, that's the only thing that matters. All right, it says, but put on therefore as the elect of the Most High, holy and beloved bowels of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering. So yeah, put it on as the elect as you learn. All right, as it says, as you learn Yahweh Shai, you read in the scriptures and grow in the wisdom and knowledge of the Bible. You can now put on as the elect, being changed because the Lord is dealing with you. All right, because we represent the temple. All right, we're a temple. All right, it's in Corinthians. I want to say Corinthians. First Corinthians 3 and 16 says, know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dealeth within you. If any man defile the temple of the Most High, him shall the Most High destroy, for the temple of the Most High is holy, which temple ye are. So we represent the temple of Yahweh Shai, and the Spirit of Yahweh Shai is dealing within us. All right, so we have to act accordingly. For as it says, for the temple of the Most High is holy. All right, holy means separate, set apart. So you have to be different, all right, than the people in the world. There has to be a difference from a man of the Lord than a regular two-third Israelite. All right, what's the difference? All right, and these certain traits, as it said, the holy, beloved, mercies and kindness, the humbleness, the meekness and long suffering. Niggas in the world ain't practicing that, but we are. All right, it says forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as my Mashiach forgave you, so also do we. So we have to be, forbearing. All right, allowing, grace. All right, because we're not perfect. All right, forgive one another. Scripts talk about, Yahweh said it. Matthew 18 and 22. Start at 21. It says, then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him till 7 times? Yahweh said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. So being able to forgive your brother. All right. Because we need mercy, shit. Okay, and it says, and above all things put on charity, which is the bound of perfectness. And that just tops it all off. Charity. Charity is more than just, monetary. All right, it's I want to say it's more I want to look for the word. It says affection. All right, there's a good word. It says affection, goodwill, love, benevolence, brotherly love, peace. So your goodwill towards your brother. All right, so it's more than just money. Brother may need to just hear you out. Brother need a rant. All right, brother just want you there. All right, that can be charity, goodwill. All right, speaking kindly. Okay, but hey, we have to be changed. We are becoming, as I quoted. All right, have to get this out. In Romans 8 and starting at 28, saying we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Most High. So, we show that we love Yahweh Shai on a daily basis. All right, by doing what's pleasing unto Him. All right, it's just if you love me, keep my commandments, and we rehearse the righteous acts. All right, because love is more than just saying you love. It's action. All right, it says to them who are the called according to His purpose. For whom He did foreknow, He also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of His Son, that He might be the firstborn among many brethren, or to be conformed to the image of His Son. All right, let's get that. And what is it? What is the etymon for conformed? It says be obedience, conform to make, or be similar, be agreeable, to form, to shape, to educate, to modify. All right, so we are being modified on a daily basis. All right, what you have to set the modifications. Right, it says meaning, to make of the same form or character, bring into harmony, Make agreeable. Act in accordance with an example. To comply. All right. Okay. Con means together with. Sometimes merely intensive. And form means to create, give life to. All right. You know, it says give shape, structure to. All right. Make, build, construct, devise. All right. So we are being constructed. Okay. How the Lord wants us to be. All right, babe. You know, with that Lord, this lesson was edifying. I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Bashim outside, Bashim Kakadash, and the honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and Shalom to the Akim, teaching his word throughout the four corners and truth to share the Yakim out of here. Shalom.